YouTube still hates me. It still refuses to upload things. It's just bad and obnoxious. But I come bearing gifts. The first thing that we are going to look at is Korean socks. I have some new ones. We have hippo! Then we have giraffe! Giraffe butt. And then we have hello frog. Very cute. Very nice. Oh, I have a shirt outside that's really funny. It says, if pregnant, please contact counter agent. I have no idea why, but I bought it, and I bought it in Korea. So, the next thing that we have is I bought some pencil cases today. I'm starting to stock up on things that I can bring back to the States and gift to people. So first we have friends. It is rare to find a friend in whom you can always confide. Your best friend. And I don't know. Oh, there's a lot of glare. Friends is spelled right here, but not here. Yes? No. And then we have hope. It hopes that wait, because think request to call on next day, by that wait something. These are from Daiso, if you hadn't already guessed. The next thing, before I explain why I'm wearing giraffe ears, has to do with I'm making a care package for one of my friends back home. We had a long conversation where I complained about the gross lack of seasonal peanut butter items because Easter is coming up, which means that Reese's is releasing their peanut butter trees, and I can't get them here. And also Peeps. I cannot get Peeps here. And these are both crimes against humanity because pretty much they're the only two things I eat during the Easter season. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But we had a conversation about Korean snack foods. So I'm making her. She's sending me some Peeps and some seasonal peanut butter items, and I am sending her some Korean foods. So the first is, I'm pretty sure you say it bondegi. I could be a little bit wrong. Bondegi. These are silkworm pupa, and they're in juice. And you can boil them, or you can fry them. And they are a very popular food for Koreans. You can buy the silkworms at E-Mart, which is your local giant grocery store. You can buy them from the people who sell things on the street vendors, and you can also buy them from the snack food vendors. You can buy a little like Dixie cup of them and eat them. I have not tried them yet. I have a rule where I will try anything once. But every time I walk past a stand that is selling silkworms and I smell them, I have to run away so I don't hurl. Because the boiled silkworms just smell like, they're one of the few smells that I just can't deal with. So I'm afraid that I wouldn't even be able to get them near my mouth if I had to smell them. The next is seasoned dried pollock. And if you can see, that's one really happy dead fish. The sort of dried fish, like wafers, are really, really popular here. Pollock's not the only kind, but it's just pressed fish. They just kind of flatten it and press it, and you can get it in all different kinds. You can buy, I bought this at Family Mart, but you can also buy them on the street. You can buy the street food. So some seasoned dried pollock. I don't think this is that bad. It's not something that I'd want to eat a lot. It has kind of a weird taste and a weird texture, but it doesn't really taste like fish to me. It kind of just tastes like a chip. like, well, not even really like, it's like a chip texture with a strange, undescribable flavoring. Next we have squid jerky. This, taste-wise, it's not bad. If you like seafood and calamari, you'll probably like the taste of this. The problem being, it's the chewiest thing on the planet. You can't really rip it apart with your teeth. You have to, like, chisel it apart and then pop a little piece in your mouth and then chew it for a half an hour, and then you finished your jerky squid. It's really, like, it's super bendy. Like, it's not breaking or anything. It's just bendy squid. Restaurants. I've had it at a lot of restaurants, but the one restaurant I go to a lot, Dasaran, which is a chicken place. If you hang out there long enough and spend enough money on food and drinks, they'll bring you this as service, which is basically like a free appetizer. And they bring you your squid jerky, and it's always kind of a bummer because I just sort of leave it there because I don't have the 5 hours it would take to eat a piece of squid jerky. Also, they bring it out like at the end of the meal. Like if you're finished eating and you're sitting around like talking and sorting out the bill and stuff, they'll come by and they'll bring your squid jerky, and you're like, oh, well, I'm full because I just finished all of the food that I ordered. The last, well, it's not the last, but it's the last thing that I sort of have out and available and ready is dried laver, which is your seaweed wraps. And this actually, alone, just the seaweed is kind of gross to eat. It's really good with, I like rice. They have kimbap, chamchi kimbap, which is rice and tuna, tuna salad, and it's wrapped in a triangle. These are pre-perforated to make the round rolls of kimbap. Kimbap is the Korean version of sushi, except it doesn't involve raw fish. But as you can see, they roll it the same way. So I'm sending her that. I'm also sending her some Spam, a single serving packet of Spam, because Spam is huge here. They put it on all of their sandwiches, and they also stick it in their kimbap. So we'll see what she thinks about that. My big news is that I found my replacement one. So because I'm only here for a year, renewing my contract was never a feasible option for me. It wasn't a matter of liking the job or disliking the job. I knew that I would only be here for 1 year because of either grad school or doing something far more applicable to get into grad school. But I got into grad school, so yay! Crap, what was I saying? Oh, so I found my replacement, which is fantastic. Because now she can start the paperwork process to getting her visa, which has changed a lot since the beginning of the year. If you're looking to come, if you're from America, I can't speak for any other country, but if you're from America and you're looking to come to Korea in 2011, it's gotten a lot more difficult. Well, not so much difficult as more time-consuming, because you now need an FBI-level background check, which your employer has to request, and the background check can take up to 3 months. So you didn't have to get that before. I didn't have to get that to come here. I only needed it at the state level. And there's also new things like references, and it's gotten a lot more difficult. If people care, I can find more information about what the new regulations are, but I'm not going to bore you if you have absolutely no interest in them. So I found my replacement. I also found out that I'll be leaving in June, which is about a month earlier. I came in July of last year. I put in a request to leave early if possible. I have a potential internship lined up for the summer back home, working in a folk museum, which is far, far and away more applicable to my life than teaching English in Korea, as I'm getting my master's in folklore starting in September. So in order to have enough time to accept that internship and move literally across the continental United States, I'm not going to tell you where I'm going to grad school. I'm going to preserve that little bit of my anonymity, but I will say that it literally involves me changing sides of the country. By car with a cat. So that's going to be my my fun in August and September. I don't know when exactly. So I asked her to leave early so I could take this internship. They said yes. But I'm not sure when exactly I leave because I said that I had to leave at the end of June instead of the end of July if I wanted to make the internship, which is true. I did ask if I could leave at the beginning of June, because if I leave at the beginning of June, I'll be home for my little brother's high school graduation, which I'd really like to make. But they haven't decided when they're letting me leave yet, so I don't know. But I found my replacement. So the running joke at school amongst all of the students is I'm 5'8¼ which means that I am taller than all of the Koreans that I work with and both of the other Americans I work with, in addition to being taller than all but I think 3 of the students in the entire school. So students frequently ask me why I'm so tall, and the running joke is I tell them that it's because I am part giraffe. And I tell them that my mother is a giraffe. My father has come to school and they have met him, so I can't use that line. But I tell them that my mother is a giraffe, and some of them believe me, like they really think that I'm half giraffe, and some of them know that I'm joking. But I have a 3rd grade class. The kids are absolutely adorable. They're really good kids. They really like me. I really like them. We get along really well. One of my kids realized that Hannah and hippo start with the same letter. So I walk into class one day and he starts calling me a hippo teacher. And I'm like, no, I'm a giraffe. And basically we spent the whole class on and off arguing about this. I was fighting with a 3rd grader about whether or not I was a hippo or a giraffe. There were board illustrations and the girls were on my side, the boys were on his side. And the class ended in a draw. But I had these giraffe ears that I got as a Christmas present from one of my coworkers. And so I wore them to school on Friday. And I told them that they were retractable and that I usually keep them inside my head so that I don't get stared at on the street. I don't think they believed me, but it did settle the hippo versus giraffe debate. At least for all of the other students. He sat in his class and he went, "No, teacher, you're a hippo. Hippo! 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 Hippo!" And then he looked around and realized that no one else was chanting hippo with him because quite clearly I had proven that I was a giraffe. This is my smug sense of superiority. I beat a 3rd grader in a fight. I win. I also gave them bonus points for killing a bug. A beetle crawled into my classroom, and rather than deal with it myself like a grown-up, I gave the little girl +3 bonus points if she squished it. Which she did, and then she took a cell phone picture about it. And then we used bugs to describe our feelings. We went through all of the possible emotions that the bug could have felt up to, during, and after his death. Probably a morbid lesson, but it got them paying attention. That's about all I really have to say. I am really tired. Had a busy weekend. So, I'm going to go take the giraffe ears off and probably drink some coffee because it's 8 p.m. here. But I have to stay up until at least 9 so that I can talk to my mother. And possibly my father in the States. Well, I'm sorry that I still can't work the internet. It just hates me something awful. God, maybe I'll figure it out one of these days. Maybe I should email YouTube and ask them why things aren't working. They also wanted me to sign up for revenue sharing. But it won't work. Like, that if any of you have done this, you click through and then it's like,